listeners, and welcome to another exciting episode of Loss of Lieutenant. I am your host, Josh, and I'm joined by a fellow host,
Nick.
Yay! The one we've all been waiting for. Pimp My List, BCB 2024 Part 2. So sorry this is so late getting out, but I am an incredibly busy person with a very hectic schedule. So, and recording more than once in a week is impossible for me. So we are getting it out now, very last minute, but we still should have some interesting changes for you guys to have a look at. How you going, Nick? Long time no talk.
Not too bad. Yeah, I can't see much. Just getting everything prepped for BCB, getting notes like, okay, I have to print off copies of the mission of supply raid tomorrow so that I can have those for everyone to hand out and just make sure everyone has the version of it. The logistics of, like someone asked to borrow this miniature for a different tournament in a different game, and I have to bring that, and they're going to meet me there to get it. So got my pile of stuff. Yeah.
Very, very logistically intense.
Yes.
I am still writing my BCB lists because I cannot commit to anything. And so we'll see what my harebrain turns out probably over tonight/tomorrow. As I try to figure out.
What?
A day.
36 hours?
Yeah, perfect. That's enough time.
Yeah.
That's enough time. See how many tomorrow I want to run. At the moment, it's 5.
Yeah, settled on a faction is a good start.
I have settled on a faction. Well, I've settled on a faction since the N5 announcement came out. I settled on a faction to put one last hurrah into N4 JSA. Sorry, all the Torchlight stands who are wanting me to jump on that, but no, it's JSA all the way. All right. Let's jump into some announcements. Our quarter 2, God. Quarter 2, quarter 3.
Quarter 3.
Quarter 3 is right. Oh, God. This year's gone so freaking quickly. Quarter 3 challenge is the second annual Loss of Lieutenant Custom Mission Challenge.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, so yeah, our first custom mission challenge went so well in 2023, with some of our listeners even getting admission into the official ITF packet. So we thought we'd do it again. We enjoyed it. You seem to enjoy it. Let's go. This year, listeners may submit up to 2 custom missions each. If you submitted a mission last year, feel free to submit an updated version of that as well. I will get that updated and put into the packet as well. Please let us know if your custom mission is intended to be competitive or narrative. I'm going to try to make a separation in those this year. See how that goes. Once the challenge ends, we'll format, edit, and compile them all into a single document and unleash that upon the wider Infinity community. We'll also pick our favorites and run a custom mission tournament here in Melbourne sometime next year. And what would a custom mission challenge be without some playtesting of those missions? For the second part of this quarter's challenge, we'd like to hear about your experiences playing custom missions. What interesting mechanics did you like? What interesting mechanics did you break? Let us know. Please submit your entries to lossoflieutenant@gmail.com, and there'll be one random winner selected from each of the quarterly challenges.
Excelente. Also, we've got some upcoming events. The obvious one is Burn City Brawl, which is this weekend, the 7th and 8th of September in North Coburg, Victoria. It's 300 points. We have a aforementioned LOL custom mission, supply raid, highly classified, decapitation, looting and sabotaging, and supremacy. See the Facebook event for more details, and have a check out of our latest Spotlight episode where we interviewed Kevin, the TO, and former host of Lost Lieutenant, on the mission choices and how to go about tackling them. And we've also got...
we've got the Habsburg Havoc Prelude coming up. That's the 14th, 15th of September in Vienna, Austria. 300 points, has the lineup of the Armory, Mind Wipe, Resilience Op, Frontline, and Decapitation. And see the event's ITS page for more details, and the link should be in the show notes of the episode as well. I mentioned last episode, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this event turns out, because that mission lineup looks good, and then you throw Resilience Ops in the middle of it.
Wild.
I'm curious to see how people write lists for that one.
Yeah, really cool. Really, really cool. If you guys want a shout out of your event, try and drum up some more audience for it, please send us through an email to lossoflieutenant@gmail.com, and we'll pop it into an episode and on the socials. And up to the meat. Pin my list, BCB 2024, where we take your lists for a major tournament and try to pimp them,
improve
them, make changes that you might not have thought obvious, that we see and we go, hey, that, this might improve your experience playing this list. Unfortunately, getting it in so late means that often these lists are very, very highly tuned already, which means that sometimes it's hard to make good and effective changes to them. We'll try and do better and get it out earlier next time. We've got some announcements pertaining to that later on in the year after BCB. So, who have we got first, Nick?
First up, if we go through the lineup again, we'll try to go through this a little bit quickly because it is the same lineup that we talked about last episode. Supply Raid, which is a custom mission from last year's custom mission packet for Lost Lieutenant. Then Highly Classified, Decapitation, Looting and Sabotage, and Supremacy.
Fantastic.
And then should have a reminder of what exactly Supply Raid is. Quicker than last time. Supply Raid, you've got nine tech coffins on the board in a 3x3 grid. Objectives: secure supply boxes, 1 point each up to 6. Secure more supply boxes for 1. Destroy more tech coffins for 1, and 2 classified objectives. How you interact with the tech coffins: you can do a whip check to activate the tech coffin. If it is still activated on the start of your next turn, it launches its supply box. That secures you the supply box, and it secures it off the board, so it cannot change hands anymore. Destroy the tech coffin, same way you would destroy an AC2. Requires anti-material CC. If your opponent has activated a tech coffin or it is locked on the third turn of the game, you can try to destroy it. If you do, the supply box pops out, and kind of like supplies, if you hold it till the end of the game, it's yours. There's a forward observer bonus, quasi creature, and hazmat ops in this. So everyone gets at least a small bit of decharges in their list.
Excellent.
All right. So, first up, we have Trent with Neo Capitoline Army. His first list is Max and the Mark II. So, Group 1, he has Maximus, a Fusilier missile launcher, a Fusilier hacker, a Fusilier paramedic, 2 decoy Fusiliers. Those make up a 5 Fusilier core. Then has a machinist, an Auxilia forward observer, an Auxilia lieutenant. And then in Group 2 has a Squalos Mark II with the grenade launcher, a Blade Ops engineer, a second Auxilia forward observer, 2 flashbots, and a war core. His goal was to use it for supremacy, decapitation, and loot and sabotage, with it being flexible into supply raid and highly classified, depending on the opponent and what classifieds were drawn.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very classic Trent list. 2 tags. Maximus is a bit of a flex. A bit of an odd pick, but makes sense in terms of having that AP plus the HCC weapon on both
Yes.
the tag and the pilot to smash some boxes.
Yeah. So
and
even sorry.
yeah, and sabotage some boxes as well.
Yeah. So even if he ends up in a position where he can't, due to terrain or whatnot, get his full tag there, he can pop out and smash it just the same.
Exactly right. And what have you done to it?
So, drop the war core. The Auxilia Lieutenant I changed to a third Auxilia Forward Observer. The Machinist I changed into an NCA Machinist because there was a point and yay, random veteran. And then churned one of the Fusilier decoys into a Fusilier Lieutenant. So this should give it a bit better coverage on supply raid by having that third Forward Observer in there. It also means that he can now push all three of the Auxilia up, and not have to worry about committing his lieutenant up the board to try to have the Oxbot in a better position. Other than that, I like it. It's got the nice solid Fusilier core, specialists in there for late game. Up to 3 Auxilia now, and the Squallow still has his pocket tactical awareness engineer, which is always nice.
Very good. Just gonna flick back. All right, so you've basically just dropped one irregular order for it.
Yes. Yeah. The war core ended up getting dropped in its entirety, but like, as you can see with some of my list pimping, I'm comfortable running 14 order lists, and I don't mind dropping that war core if it means that the other models get to be better.
Fair enough. That makes a lot of sense. It just means that unfortunately this one won't have very many reasons to spend command tokens unless say a tag gets
that is an issue. Group 2 has 2 tactical awareness, and Group 1 has Maximus. So yeah, unless Maximus goes down, yeah, you're not doing much with the command tokens. But
yeah, that's okay. All right.
So
Trent's second list.
yes. So second list, the Ulan and Bolta Sniper Harris was designed to handle all 5 missions. Decap, kind of depending on who the opponent was, looking to go decap into Infowar heavy opponents, or Ariadna, JSA, or anyone that likes to, quote, apply the boot early. So this is the more defensive list, more ARO presence in it. So for list 2, he has a Bolt multi-sniper, Shona Corona, by Pandra, forming a Haris.
Yep.
Fusilier missile launcher, Fusilier hacker, Fusilier paramedic, Fusilier decoy, and Fusilier lieutenant, forming that nice core missile launcher and cheerleaders. Auxilia forward observer, machinist with 2 palbots. And then in group 2, he has an Ulan, an Auxilia forward observer, 2 flashbots, and a tech bee. So this provides a more resilient list than the first one, like I said, against anyone who's going to try to rush him, or if he feels like he's going to have to absorb an alpha, his his tag starts in a camo state.
Yeah.
He's got the Bolt Sniper in a Haris for a fairly strong arrow piece on top of the missile launcher. plus that Bolt Sniper can, and that Harris, once it is no longer needed as much for the AROs, can start to move up the board and apply Shona.
By Shona, indeed.
Yeah.
I think I could already see what's leaving here, but let's move on to your pimps. What did you do?
Yeah, so I dropped the one of the Palbots. I didn't think it needed two. I dropped the Flakbot, or one of the Flakbots and the TechBee, and then replaced those with a third Auxilia Forward Observer, and then moved the Machinist over into Group 2 to try to balance them a little bit more. That way, the Ulan has the same number of orders available without having to convert the TechBee's order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This gives it, again, the third Auxilia Forward Observer. If he wants them in all missions, that's then 3 models to go up there, push buttons, and with push buttons with the Forward Observer bonus. So reliably pushing buttons for Pano. And gives that extra layer of defense in addition to the arrows, has now all 3 Oxbots back there to buffer things that are coming in.
Excellent. Alrighty. Now we have Ryan on his Torchlight Brigade. Ryan has provided us with 2 lists. The first one he has called Big Thick Boys Yellow Jacket Primed. It consists of a core link in Group 1 of the Prime as an LT, a Stormbot FTO, a Kappa Hacker, a Vidok FTO Doctor, and a Hellblazer with a Light Shock and a Flamage Spear. Group 2 is 8 regular and 1 irregular. It is a Ment, a Lambda Engineer, a Yudbot, a Fuzzbot Evo Hacker, a Psychop Multispectral Visor, Multi-Marksman Rifle, a Wave Rider Hacker, normal hacking device, and a Hellblazer Light Shock and Flamage Spear. Those 3 are in Haris. A Moonraker Mine Layer, and a Yellow Jacket Hacker, and a Warcore 360 Visor. He wants to play this one in Supply Raid. Probably not countermeasures, considering it's not in the mission lineup, but highly classified, and possibly Supremacy. The Group 1, you can run the site like Prime solo, or have it in a core link depending on where you start, or like, if you're starting second or something like that. And Group 2 has a bunch of specialists and the more order intensive pieces on the board. And the Yellow Jacket Hacker is a little flex piece that can do almost every single classified, which is pretty true. It's interesting. Unfortunately, I am a little bit of a bugbear for drop troops. They never seem to go quite as well for me as other people do, and I'm not saying that Ryan's ability to run them isn't stellar. I don't know. I've not played against Ryan's drop troop ability, but I think that I'm going to do some differences here. He's running this in Supply Raid, and he doesn't have a Forward Observer in it. The Strider Forward Observer is right there, so maybe let's add this one in. So I dropped the Yudbot. I swapped the Yellow Jacket for the Strider FO. And what that does is basically the Lambda is only really there for the Stormbot, which is only really there on ARO anyway. So why would you need a Yudbot? Just put the Lambda right next to the Stormbot. It's fine. The Strider completes classifieds really, really efficiently, and it also has the marker state. So unlike the Yellow Jacket, when you land it, it's exposed. It's ready to get got. The Strider at least has a marker state to fall back on, and who doesn't love a light shotgun +1 burst?
So with the Evo Hacker, this Yellow Jacket would be still landing on 15s?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I think
it's great when it happens, but the 25% of the games that it doesn't happen on can be rough.
Yeah, I think that it's like the Evo hacker is definitely there just for the Stormbot, which slightly means to me that probably the Evo hacker isn't necessary either. And you could probably put another Moonraker mine layer in instead if you so desired. But the bones of the list is there, and Ryan likes his Fuzzbot.
The other thing
Evo hacker
I could see with the Fuzzbot in this is potentially fairy dust on heavies. If you run into an opponent who can actually present a hacking issue, especially if they're going to try to target the prime, because they're what, BTS 9, and then fairy dust on top of that is basically don't bother. Yeah, like please throw your orders away at this.
Yeah, you could also swap the Wave Rider to a Wave Rider Killer Hacker. I don't think this. I don't know what it would add to it. You could probably shuffle up some points around to find the extra order, because we're missing an order in this one. Oh no, we're not. Yeah, we are. We're missing one order in this one, so you might be able to shuffle some points around to find points for a Flash Boss bot or something. Maybe even upgrade if you downgraded or if you side graded the Wave Rider to a Killer Hacker, that would give you an extra 4 points, so 4 points total, which means you could upgrade the War Core to a Flash Pulse bot, which is a regular order. So that's a cheeky little side grade you could do for this one as well. It does pain me to leave a list at 4.5 SWC and 298 points, but we all have to do things we don't like. Next up is Ryan's list 2, which it's not lost on me as well that it's still called Big Thick Boys Yellow Jacket Primed, and I've removed the yellow jacket. Sorry. We've got Hippo and the Wrecking Boys. Hippo and the Wrecking Boys consists of a Stormbot FTO, Wave Rider Hacker, normal hacking device, Kappa Hacker, Hellblazer, and Raveneye LT in a core link. A Haris of Hellblazer, Wave Rider Killer Hacker, and Hippolyta. A Millicent, which is a guided missile launcher. A Lambda Engineer. So this is group 2, sorry. A Lambda Engineer, a Fuzzbot Evo Hacker, a Moonraker non-mine layer, a Kita Flash Pulse, and the Wrecker with the heavy rocket launcher. He wants to play this one in decap and looting and sabotaging, and the list is designed to just throw Hippolyta at LTs and consoles. The Group 1 can set up the hacking net, provide arrows, and Hippolyta Harris sort of advances through it. And Group 2 is Wrecker does wrecking. And GML for if all other plans fail. I quite enjoy this list. I like any list that managed to shoehorn Hippolyta in. My only real issue with it was I had a couple of issues with it. The main one was that you don't have a Ryan. What are you doing, man? You have 2 structure pieces that could get damaged. Why doesn't your engineer have a yard bot? You also have a list with 14 orders and a lieutenant +1 order with no NCO. I couldn't fix both of those issues without completely destroying the list. I could fix one issue really quickly, which was adding in a yard bot. So I've done the other thing that I suggested, that I suggested before, which was I turned the Kita into a yard bot and a war core, and have left this on 298 points again, which also pains me. At least it's 6 SWC now. It's like still. So at least this the Yardbot just provides this list with a little bit more potential resilience. The worst thing would be if your tag gets like halfway up the board and then gets bricked, and your engineer has to make the 4/4 slug the entire way there. You could put your engineer next to your Stormbot. You can put the Yardbot next to where your tag is going to go, and throw them up the board as needed when things start to go down.
Yudbot can run up the board faster than the Lambda.
Certainly can.
Yeah.
And is smaller and sort of junk. So, yeah, I think that I don't know if this is better. I think it is. I think it has a little bit more resilience. You have something to spend command tokens on now because you can flip the War Cause order for the Wrecker, which is probably going to be the most order hungry piece in it, because man, that Wrecker just loves to fail dice rolls. Burst 3 and BS13 just feels bad sometimes. So yeah, I think you'll have a bit of. I think you have a lot of fun with this list. I'm keen to see how it goes. I wouldn't want to run into it, that's for certain. So good luck.
Who's up next?
Next? Oh, Jordan. You are going to hate me for these. Jordan is playing vanilla combined army. He has two lists here. The first list is called Cullen Family Values. Well, you can probably guess why as soon as I start reading it. It consists of Sheskin Red Fury, a Umbra Samaritan hacker with a normal hacking device, Caliban Forward Observer, a Dr. Worm with his little slave drone, a Datarazi, a Q drone, an Icadron. The Q drone is a HMG, an Icadron, a Taiga with a DACC weapon, a Liberto Mine Layer. Group 2 is Norkius, his lieutenant, Icadron, E-drone, 2 Imidrons, and another Taiga with a DACC weapon. It's called, obviously, Cullen Family Values because all of his big attack pieces in this has Protheon. So it gives them, as he says, the big suck. He said it's for looting and sabotaging and highly classified. And he said that Norkius has some subterfuge because it can spend an LT, or he can spend the LT order using NCO. I like to remind Jordan that Norkius is your only Whip 15 lieutenant option. In fact, I think he's the only Whip 15 lieutenant option in combined, and so there's no subterfuge. he's right there, out in the open. No one's gonna not know that Norkius is the lieutenant. I'm very sorry. Jordan and I actually talked about this a lot behind the scenes. We workshop lists together all the time, and the only change to his old list that he made was adding in Dr. Worm, taking out a Caliban Engineer, and putting a Caliban Forward Observer in. So I actually have no notes. I think this is a really cool and fun list, and I think if I was to make any changes to it, it would do the list a disservice.
Yeah, I originally tried to work on his list and wrote down some notes, and then came back, and it had been updated to his new version, which had almost every change that I wanted to make to the list. So I agree, it's good. It did what I thought it should do, and has already been updated.
Yes. Yeah, it's great. Alrighty. Jordan's vanilla combined army list 2. He's called it the best CA tag, which is his tried and true comfort list. He's working to show up weaknesses from playing into something because he's playing something questionable with the Cullen family values. So his best CA tag list consists of a Coronted Hacker lieutenant, a Umbra Samaritan hacker, Bit and Kiss, 2 Imitrons, a T-drone missile launcher, a Datarazi, a Taiga with a DAC weapon, and a Gaki. Group 2 is a Raicho multi-heavy machine gun and a heavy rocket launcher, a Dartok Hacker, two R drones, a Nicodron, and a Liberto mine layer. This is the list that Jordan took to Border Bash. It's the list that he ran for all 5 missions in Border Bash. It's the mission that he won Border Bash with. It's the list he won Border Bash with. So my only suggestion is play a different list.
You've proved it is an excellent list.
It's
you
a great
went
list.
5-0 with one list
Well done.
one Border Bash. I don't know where we go from this. It's been proved that it is an excellent list.
Yeah, it's a proven really good list. It's also so finely tuned that there absolutely is nothing that I can do that would not gimp this list. Like, play something different. Instead of a Raicho, put a bull track in. I don't know. There's not much I can do to this one, unfortunately. Alrighty.
Hey,
oh my goodness.
We have Val with his tack. So he gave us such amazing guidance on what he wants to do with his list with the following. My list for BCB. Good luck. That was it. Oh, and that there's a 4-man link in the second list.
Oh, excellent.
That was everything I had to work with on this one.
Good.
So, had to figure out what these lists were supposed to be used for and why, and that was a bit confusing with the second list. But we'll get to that. So, list 1, as you note, has no links in it. Group 1 is a Scout Forward Observer, a Dynamo Regular, a Straylock Forward Observer, a Ratnik Heavy Rocket Launcher +1 Burst, 2 Tractor Mule Courier Total Reactions, so that's the Urgan multi-rocket launcher. 2 of those, a Straylock K9 with Antipode, a Lion Cossack Decoy, and a Dog Warrior. Group 2 is a Spetsnaz Parachutist with AP Rifle, a Lion Cossack Lieutenant, a War Driver Evo Hacker, a Dynamo Paramedic, and 2 Irmandinos with chain rifles.
Oh.
So yeah, overall, it's a pretty solid list into almost every mission we've got. So, not to say it can't be improved. So, swapped out the Straylock K9 for a Straylock Mine Layer to add a little bit more confusion to the midfield camo marker count. Since that'll mean now there's 2 Straylocks, each with a decoy and a mine, plus then the scout up there can hopefully make it more difficult to figure out what exactly is going on with the camo game. With those points, I swapped the Dynamo for Carbon Batard. That'll help add a little bit more forward pressure to the list, and also cover the sensor card, or cover classified cards for both sensor and veteran, as she's a character. Alternatively, you could also put in a Dynamo Forward Observer in place of Carbon Batard if you want to have a little bit more on the Forward Observer. Now you've got 3 of them, 2 in Camel Marker, 1 on a bike, to go up there and start pushing buttons, especially in Supply Raid. I favor the Carbon Batard version, but I also like Carbon Batard. So,
Excellent.
I think it provides, it's got good defense with the 2 TR bots. It's got enough decharges in there to go up and blow Supply Raid and Loon Sabotage. Yeah, should be able to cover all missions.
Excellent.
So the second list, it has a 4-man linked list. Group 1 is a Beast Hunter, the Ariadna Special. It has Pavel McManus, Straylock Forward Observer, a Lion Cossack Lieutenant, a Lion Cossack Decoy, a Lion Cossack Paramedic, Frontovic multi-sniper MS or AP sniper MSV1, forming a 4-man core, an antipode pack with handler, and an Ermendino chain rifle. Group 2 is a second Ermendino chain rifle, Dynamo paramedic, the Spetsnaz camouflage heavy machine gun, Vasily chain of command T2 sniper, a tractor mule courier with Katusha, and a tractor mule total reaction with Ergan.
Hmm.
I was struggling to figure out what he wanted to do with this list. Like, it's his more defensive ARO oriented list. The thing I kept hanging up on is couldn't figure out what the Katyusha tractor mule is there for, because it doesn't really provide much on the defense other than providing one more mine in the DZ. The total reaction seems like that's really going to be good on the defense. He's also only got one
Do they have guided?
forward. They both have guided, but he's got one forward observer.
Yeah.
So it's not for the guided. I think it may have been a compromise in his list building that came from a previous version where it had total reaction.
Yeah, I've played against a version of this list before, where it was 2 total reactions. So, I don't know. Yeah, well, we'll see what your changes are.
Yeah. So, I dropped the tractor mule Katyusha that I couldn't figure out why it was in there still. The line Kazakh paramedic changed to a forward observer and added a Kazakh doctor to group 1, and then moved the antipodes into group 2. This gives the core 5 members now. The core at 4 members, I think his goal there was he's got MSV 1 and 6th Sense. So pretty much if he can smoke shoot well enough, because either if they fire back, now he ignores the smoke, or if they don't shoot back, he takes the -6 and doesn't have to deal with them shooting back. So that's not a bad compromise. So this way, it starts out as up to 5 members, but he's got the option of peeling off either the forward observer or the doctor to let them go do whatever they need for either highly classified or push buttons, whatnot, and still keep a 4-man core for the 6th Sense. And if he's going second, it starts out as 5. He's got +1 ballistic seal on the line or on the front of Vic as well.
Yeah. What's Vasily in there for?
I think he's in there because he wants more firepower and long-range firepower in this.
Right.
So he's a
different piece.
BS-13, I believe.
Yeah, I mean he's decent.
He's a BS-13 T2 sniper rifle with surprise attack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got that both as an offensive piece, but also as a potential ARO. He's got the Spetsnaz for active turn shooting. He's got the Frontovic in a core for smoke shooting.
Because he could take the Tank Hunter missile launcher and have enough points for the TM Courier total reaction from his first list. But I like your changes. I think they're great.
That was one of the things I considered. Yeah. And given with the first list to the second list, I'd rather go and keep that differentiation of this is the I need to outshoot something list, and the I don't care that my opponent brought guns list.
Yeah. Fair enough. All right. That might wrap everything up, I think.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Note in the chat about yeah. That's the list to deal with Riot Girls and Grenzers.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. So excellent.
Very quick one.
Yes.
So, yep, should be able to, because it's so quick, I should be able to smash this out tonight and get it up on the Spotify so people can listen to them listen to it on Friday and maybe change their lists before BCP.
Yes.
Thank you for joining me, Nick, on some pimping. I apologize in advance. I apologize belatedly, Jordan, for my absolute ruining of your lists. Yeah, thanks everybody for listening. Good night.
Yep. Excellent. Good night.